understanding of the conversation, is it a desire to create an ad hoc committee to go back and rehash the MOU, or is it a discussion around forming an ad hoc committee post MOU? One other thing I'd like to say is it's a mess. It's a mess, and there's no debate that it's an absolute mess. And our city here is here to support the community and to try to build trail and recreational infrastructure. That's our goal. And we recognize that there was a huge mess and a lot of missteps in this process. And if the council, if the city's desire is to go backwards, all the way, bulldoze it, whatever. Like, the idea is to build bike park, something that is sustainable, safe, manageable, that works for the city. And if that's what has to happen to make it happen, we're here to help. So, to be clear, we're not adversaries. We very much want to work together to try to push forward recreation infrastructure.
We appreciate that.
So when I sit here and listen to this, and Jill, you said that they were the fundraisers. I mean, that's what they thought their intent was. So to me, it sounds like nobody, is that here? What, like this?
Oh, they were little fundraisers.
Oh, they were little fundraisers. I mean, they raised about $35,000 in 3 years. That's nowhere close to $400,000. It seems like the city is afraid to take responsibility for this bike park because we don't even know what it is. And then you guys, you want to be a part of it, but you really don't want to take responsibility for it. That was never your intent to take responsibility for the bike park. Your intent was to raise funds. So it seems like nobody really wants to take responsibility for the bike park. And I don't know how everybody comes together. The city doesn't have money to build it, and somebody's got to raise what the city thought was that the bike people were going to raise the money to build this bike park. But at $35,000 in 3 years, we're not going to get a bike park built. And the city right now doesn't have money to build a bike park. So nobody really wants to take responsibility for this bike park. I don't know how all of you are going to come together and build a $400,000 bike park. So I hope you can come to some kind of understanding. We're having camping out there. We're not charging for it. You know, there could be lots of ways to raise funds. We're not going to raise enough money by selling t-shirts like Mandy told us we were going to do. So somehow we have to raise a lot of money. I don't know how you're going to come to understand.
I live in Blue Lake, and I've seen the kerfuffle that's going on. And my specialty is doing capital improvement projects where we use grant funds. And it seems to me like the only way you're affording funds is through grant. And I think I agree with Kat that we really need to determine whether this is something the residents of the city want here, and that outfall that comes from having a recreational facility that brings people into your community. And if it is something that Blue Lake wants to pursue, especially if it's a source of revenue for you, which you desire, then we need to put staff time into doing grants and working with you guys and other groups to get support community-wide, county-wide, that makes a grant possible. And there's a lot of propositions that are coming out that have the potential for this. And so I think a lot of it, I mean, I'd like to see you guys do the MOU because it places something on paper that allows you to move forward. And it seems like that's kind of the next step that you need to do to rectify where you're at. Because you have most of the big part out there. So.
progress like what Kat's talking about. I think with a MOU, I believe that if we get that together, this group can provide all that you asked for, like what the objective is. And I realized after a long conversation with the city manager, that there's gonna be a lot of, we have to backtrack a long ways. Gather up all the information, tighten all the loose ends, and then we can present it to the city council. What our objective is, what the final plan is, a legitimate, permitted, exactly what we're gonna do. This would be the first step right here. We have to go back quite a few steps because of the mistakes we made. I acknowledge that, and this is the first step. Okay, we're gonna work together to get to provide the city council what is needed here. What essentially, what is the objective? And we can tell you, maybe acknowledge how much traffic's gonna bring, quite a bit of information, and I encourage our city council to ask us, to say, okay, we're on board, we'll probably do the bulk of the work to try to get this engineered properly, and maybe some grants, and there's just so many steps. All the loose ends that we missed, we'll try to bring together. I'm gonna encourage you to pass this, to approve this.
Thank you.
John Bartholomew, I'm a resident, and I'm a member of RCMBA, not on the board, but I am a member, and I also, to dovetail on Ron's comments, do encourage the city to establish this MOU with RCMBA, which is in my opinion, a very solid association with a very competent and engaged board that will do what it takes to do what's best for the bike park and working with the city. So I would encourage the city to move forward. There are grants out there for these types of projects, and I would encourage the city to work locally with the Humboldt Lodging Alliance. They're getting 2% of the transient occupancy taxes collected across the county for tourism-related projects, and it is really their mandate to support projects that bring tourism into the county and put heads in beds. That's what most of the alliance is about. They are hotel owners, and but they're getting this money to help develop tourism and bring people from outside the area into Humboldt County so that they benefit, businesses around the county benefit, there's more revenue coming into the cities, and et cetera. And so I would encourage the city to apply for one of those, it's called a community development fund that they get money out of. And they have money. They are the ones that help fund the majority of the skywalk by the zoo in Sequoia Park. They've got money coming from the county. Every single quarter, they get many thousands of dollars. And it is their goal to support projects that bring in tourism. And along those lines, the Rancheria is also in their best interest to put more heads in beds in their motel. So I think that there's money available on that side of the equation also. And the bump track competitions, these are global events. This is not something that's just going to be piped on by our local MX riders. If there are events, there are people that will come here to participate. And I encourage the city to establish the MOU. you folks will make a great partner. Sorry, I'm over. But I encourage everyone to go forward and make it a good team. Yeah, committee, you can make this happen.
Council, my name is Sean Robertson. I'm a board member with RSMBA. I'm also the head coach and team director for the Humboldt County High School mountain bike team. We've built a few of these projects in the county, and what our mission is as part of RSMBA and the mountain bike team is to develop community benefits for the children who live there, as well as to build community development leaders in that. The intent originally from everyone, I think, was to provide a recreational opportunity in Blue. And that's how we were approached to help design and develop that, and it's ballooned to where we are today. We've done that successfully in Arcata, we've done that successfully in Fortuna, we've done that also in Humboldt County where we're looking at attracting. All of these are opportunities. Sure, for tourism is one big thing, and providing alternative revenue for communities in our county is important because that's a challenge for everybody. But also it provides recreational benefits and development benefits for the youth in those communities, and that's another huge part of what we're looking for. This partnership is really important, not just to finish this project or to help you figure out what it is you want it to be. We're partners with all of our communities because we want to create these community opportunities. It's your land, the bike park is already there. We have expertise, knowledge, and resources to help fund that. So the best interest for everyone, including yourselves, is to start with this MOU so we can at least have a partnership to develop whatever this project looks like. The intent and the vision is ultimately yours, but we're a partnership with every community we interact with. We're part of all the communities in our county, and we just want to make it better for everyone.
My name's Kevin Fisher. I'm a volunteer. And I would just like to echo the sentiments that these folks also said. As a volunteer, as we've been going along designing and building this thing, I always felt like it was going great. And that we had all the understanding with the community. And so it surprised me to find out that there was a lot of confusion when the new council was elected and Mandy was swept away, and now everything sort of crumbled. I agree totally with what Art was saying. I was saying, she was saying, there is money out there, and I don't know how to get it. I'm just a volunteer, but we should try to pursue some of those grants. Try to, and I encourage you to make the first step to start this MOU. And I also, if there's going to be an ad hoc committee, I would love to be a part of it. I want to help move this project forward. I want to help this community to have good stuff like this bike park to do, for people to have fun. So let's have the MOU get approved.
Call vote on it.
Hi. Lower my hand. This might, okay.
You can go ahead.
In the development of this project, which seems to have been very confusing, and trying to keep up with what was going on in the industrial if it's going to be shown as a bike park, it's going to be part of the whole park and facilities of the city of Blue Lake. And I'm trying to find a foundation and trying to find a place to start with this. Are we clear on the zoning?
Yes.
Okay, so it's recreational zoning?
When I was reading through some of the documents, that was one of the consistency determinations that the planning commission had to make relative to the project. So they went through and they made those determinations. I can't speak to the specifics right now, just because I don't have that information memorized. But when it went to the planning commission, that's part of when they gave that approval process, and then they also flagged that if the project was to deviate from that which had been approved, it needed to come back to the planning commission, which is why that's one of the corrective actions that'll need to be taken. So they wouldn't have approved it if it wasn't consistent with the zoning and land use designations.
So we're any understanding MOUs or such are not going to be affected by later developments that, oh no, the zoning wasn't right?
I don't believe so. I mean, I would defer to Ryan with, you're more familiar with that ordinance that was out there than I am.
I think that
Yeah. As I recall, it was interesting because when it did come forward, it did identify, even use the example of a bike park. That was one of the kind of envisioned activities that could be out there.
Yeah, I was just thinking if there's funding to be had in MOUs and such, that it would be, have to be totally clear. So that's it for tonight for me. Thank you for all for being here and your hard work.
great. Is there any other comment on this? All right. That's all for all time. Seeing none, bring it back to council for consideration. And I think at this point, we figure out what's going on. I don't think there's any harm in sending a right in the first place. But you guys consider designating this room either adopted or presenting
I would hope that the ad hoc would meet with members of the RCMBA and their board and kind of go back through some of the issues that we've had, because, I'm hearing a lot of really great stuff in all of these comments. Like, Ron, I really appreciate it. It sounds like you spent some time with the city manager, and we're very fortunate to have somebody who's doing that deep dive and being objective and just trying to lay things out.
I was really one of my really having a lot of discussed.
And then, hearing that energy of others, it's like, the grants that we're saying where we could obtain additional money. But there's a but, which is the objectives that are being established have to be from the council representing the public. And so I guess part of the conversation I would want that we really examine with our today is, can you work with objectives of the council? The goal of this idea of a road, for example, bike park here in our backyard at Blue Lake might be something that is, thrilling and of interest and absolutely a revenue generating potential. But what we end up with really needs to be reflective of the character of Blue Lake, what the people want, what we can sustain. And so I'm just re-expressing my concern one last time that what we are moving forward with in partnership is a reflection of what the council is bringing forward, and that we are doing a good job representing the public rather than it being driven by what the RCMBA wants to see. And that's a big ask, because we're saying, you guys help with the bill for what we want to do, and it might not be what you're dreaming. But I think that's part of our open dialogue, a place that we have to start with and say, how do we come across that abyss with each other and move forward? And so I'm asking the ad hoc to, if you could maybe make a commitment, and I'd be ready to move forward on an MOU, but I'd like to see that. Yeah, that ad hoc in the RCBA, yes, please.
Of course, that's the intent of moving forward with the ad hoc, of course.
And can I offer, as I'm listening to all of you, this is bigger than the bike park. There are a number of events that occur within Blue Lake. And maybe one of the things you have to be looking at is a master recreational plan, where you begin to look programmatically at all the different events, all the different facilities that are pulling people in. Right now, you're kind of piecemealing, right? And I've heard in my very short time here, issues and concerns that have been expressed by residents and likewise by proponents. You really need to find some balance in the community and maybe developing a sort of programmatic approach to how and where events are being held might help give some accommodations and mitigations is a big picture sort of thing. Just a thought, I don't want to get sideways, but I do think that Blue Lake's in a really unique location, and you have, take a look at the development of many other communities here on the North Coast. You've got way more recreational opportunities here than many other communities. Capitalize on it, figure out how to develop that balance through a master plan. So it's just a thought. I don't want to get sideways from the MOU, but I think that there's like a larger, conversation that might be really beneficial to be working towards.
Second.
Who made the second?
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
Excellent.
Is that the last bit of, oh, then we have a closed session. We're doing it?
Mm-mm.
Can't hear you.
I'll take the,
We have some reports.
I think it would be good for us to get this one wrapped up. We don't want to postpone a closed session, do we?
no.
Oh, council
No, we're following the
correspondence. Yes,
agenda.
that we can do. That's why I was saying I can't hear you.
That carries over to the
Thank
23rd.
you.
Thank y'all. That means 24th.
Too many conversations, I can't track. We're going to continue that to the, next week.
Do we need a motion to continue
No.
item 12? Thank you.
So 11 and 12 are moving to the next meeting, is
Yeah.
that what I'm hearing? Okay, okay. Okay, so now we're in close.
No, we are not in closed.
Well, we will be.
I like how sly that was. Okay, we'll have to have that read, and then we'll make sure that Emily's got everything turned off so that we're not continuing broadcast. But let's go ahead and read into,
Public comment on closed
yeah,
session. item.
we have to announce it and take public comment typically. How do you want to do this?